Welcome to Everything Electric, the biggest electric car and clean tech event in Australasia, and I'm right here on the stage before the doors open. Today we are going to see a throng of people wandering through. There is everything from seminars on this very stage, at which some point I'll be on it for some reason. And then of course we've got new cars being unveiled, we've got solar panel installs, we've got charger installs, and we've got dozens of electric cars ready for test drives. It's going to be a big day. Let's crack into it. Yes, this year's Everything Electric had new cars and kit cars, even solar-powered cars on display, as well as classic car conversions and heaps more. And as the organisers and hosts from Fully Charged got all prepared, the doors opened and thousands poured into this massive 3-day clean tech colossus. Of course, there's too much to cover individually, so I'll show you some of my personal highlights in this video, starting with some very smart, very Kiwi content.
This is an AC charger. Really designed for public and sort of commercial spaces, so it's really sort of sturdy. This isn't going to be knocked over. We don't need any bollards around it because it sort of is the bollard, so it's really sturdy. Yep, there you go.
Actually, that's metal.
Yeah.
I thought it was plastic or fiberglass.
No, it is.
Remel stainless.
So even Kiwi drivers can run into this thing.
Yes, exactly.
So, one thing that's really cool though is this is something I've been asking for about 10 years, is no apps. No access cards. You can just turn the charger on using your credit card.
Yep, you can. So it's literally a tap to start and it's a tap to end with the same card.
Why haven't we had this for years? This is brilliant.
Yeah, it's tough. You have to get the hardware speaking, you've got to get software speaking and the third-party integrated payment. So it's not an easy task, but we do everything in-house, so we've managed to do it.
But you also have something interesting I just heard about a second ago.
Yes.
Charging cables with chips in them?
Yes, exactly.
How does that work?
This is the Hikotron cable,
okay.
And we have a plug pay feature. This is patent pending technology, so the cable can be registered to your account, and then when you plug in the cable, it will just start charging. No app activation, nothing. It will just.
So you rock up to the charger with the cable, your own cable in your car.
Yep.
And you plug that in.
Yep.
And immediately it starts charging.
Yep, exactly.
You don't have to swipe anything?
No, nothing. It will just plug in, it will beep, and it will know who you are. And then you can actually still monitor from your app because the cable is linked to your app. So I'm going to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
This cable locks in so to secure the cable in the session.
Okay.
But what happens in a power cut when that all locks up?
It gets jammed in.
It gets stuck, yes. So Hikotron has a solution for that because I called up an operator and they said, I'll send you your cable in a week. And I was like, that can't happen.
Yeah.
So we have a lockbox. So if you come over here, I can give you the code for the lockbox. I can verify you're the last user.
Yeah.
And it opens and you can now manually release your cable. Solution solved, yeah. So
who's coming up with these ideas?
that was actually my problem I had in Europe.
This is brilliant though,
yeah,
you know?
I know? All in one tidy, really sort of neat footprint.
This is Kiwi ingenuity, and it's just right here in New Zealand and Australia now. This is brilliant. Thank you. Thank you for opening my eyes and bringing something to market that I've been calling for 10 years. Next thing on the list is electric car conversions, and this is Ed from EVS. What do you guys do here? Stupid question, I know.
Yeah, good morning. So Australian EVS. So what we do is build kits for classic cars, converting them over to electric. So a lot better way of actually enjoying your old classic car, a lot more performance, and lots of other things as well that we get out of it.
Okay, I want to look at this car here. This is a classic Volkswagen. What year is it, first of all?
It's a 1965 Beetle. This is we got this about a year ago, so middle of COVID, where the prices was high, unfortunately. But we spent about 20,000 restoring it, respraying it, putting all new interior in, and then the best bit at the end was actually just putting our EV kit in it.
Okay, tell me about the specs. What kind of motors it got? What kind of battery packs it got?
So we got a net gain Hyper 9 motor. We've got Tesla modules, so it gives us 26 kilowatt hours, which is our base kit. We've got all the DC to DC converters, we've got the BMS system in. With the kit, we do all the displays, the cables that you need, pretty much everything that you need. So whether you're in New Zealand, here in Australia, anywhere you are, we can provide the kit for you. It really just depends about how you spec up the battery box for the particular car.
Okay, let's just assume the car, you're given a car that's already in good condition, you're just supplying the kit. What are we looking at for something like this? Yeah,
so for this kit, it comes with everything that you need, starts at 46,000. So it might sound a lot of money, but we've dropped the price about 20% from last year. Some of the features that we have in this car that really helps with its drivability, it's got water cooling through all the batteries, so it manages the temperature of the batteries when you're using high performance, when you're doing fast charging as well. So we've got a level 1 charger on here. We have regen braking, which also helps with the range. This gives us about 200 kilometre range. Wow. But the best thing is, it's effectively gone from a 40 horsepower petrol car to about 200 horsepower electric.
Okay,
which is fantastic.
Last question is, Why do people, I mean, I'm biased here, but why do people love classic car conversion so much? What is it?
Well, yeah, I think since time began, everyone was wanting to get more performance out of the cars, they're wanting to up-spec it, and that hasn't really changed. What's changed now is that doing an EV conversion is a lot easier than putting a V8 motor in it. People used to have motors sticking out of the back of a Beetle or whatever car it is.
That's right.
And we're doing the same thing, but we're doing it for EV. The way that EV motors work, operate, performance that you get in such a small, compact package, it lends itself perfectly for like a sleeper car. And the thing that I love about this, the only reason you know it's EV, is in Australia we have a little blue sticker on the number plate. And then the other thing, people look at you when you can't hear it, you think you got it switched off, and then you just leave them at the lights.
Fantastic.
Love it. Yeah.
Next thing I really want to look at is this tiny solar home. Guy, tell me about it. What is it? I've just described it, I know, but what is it?
Yeah, so it's a tiny home on wheels. We build them to the specs of a caravan, so they can be parked anywhere. So it's under 2.5 wide, under 4.3 tall, and under 12 metres long overall of the trailer.
Okay, what's it got inside?
2 bedrooms, bathroom, which is also a laundry, and a huge kitchen as well.
Okay, the obvious question though, how much does it cost?
So we've got the single story one and the double story one.
Oh, I didn't even notice the single story one right next to us. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll film that.
So the single story one starts at 150 without the solar, and the double story one with everything included, with the solar, the 6 kilowatt inverter, and the 2 batteries, which is 10.2 kilowatts of storage, is 239, including GST.
Why put it on a trailer though? What benefit does that have?
So you can beat the DA. You don't need council approval
what's the
for
DA?
that. Council approval.
Okay, okay.
So, because it's classed as a caravan, they can be parked
So
anywhere.
so you can, so it's a caravan, it's not a house.
Yeah, it's not a house.
So-
that's why we do the measurements that we do, is so it's a caravan.
Have you ever considered moving to New Zealand? Branching out New Zealand? Because
not
these
yet.
things
We
would be
have-
great in New Zealand.
Someone asked us that before, but not yet. We're just concentrating on Australia right now.
Right. So I'd love this thing, man. The bathroom is bigger than my own bathroom.
Yeah, we're trying to make it pretty spacious in there.
Oh, so this deck that we're standing on is a separate trailer?
Yeah, it's a separate trailer.
Okay, now about the solar system on the roof, what's the capacity? How is this thing powered?
It's 3.5 kilowatts of solar panels on the roof, and then it runs into the inverter, which is 6 kilowatt, and goes into the battery storage.
So how long would that last for the average person? So it's basically self-sufficient, isn't it?
Yes, there's no straightforward answer though. It's just depending on who's using it and if you're sensible with it or not. On a sunny day, we're running lights, fridge, outdoor lights, speakers, power points off it as well, and it sits at 100% all day.
Oh, that's fantastic. Next up is this BC. This is the MG4 XPower, and I took a video of driving this thing. That video has already gone live. This thing is a wild card. Imagine the regular old MG4, which I've reviewed to death. You know, it's a good car, but we've seen it, it's common. This thing, well, this got 320 kilowatts of power, 600 torquing newtons, 2 motors, front and rear, 0 to 100 times same as the Ferrari F40. And this little shopping trolley. It is a wild car. If you get the chance, take one of these for a drive. Next up, right behind me, is the ridiculously illuminated Polestar exhibition. All right, we've got the Polestar 2 behind me. Recently, I took the Polestar 2 long range for a long drive. I got 560 k's out of one charge, but there's something else I want you to see. Right down the back here, it is this, the Polestar 3, which is not yet available in New Zealand, but it will be. Unlike some cars that we're not going to get, this is going to be in New Zealand showrooms very soon, and I will get my hands on it. There were loads of different car models on display from all different manufacturers, including this Renault, which had just been unveiled, although it's not likely to hit New Zealand anytime soon. Same goes for the LDV E-Deliver 7, which is the perfect clean replacement for the dirty combustion Toyota Hiace. And while both the Aussies and the Kiwis at the event were enjoying the test drives,
It's good. It was really nice. Yeah.
I managed to find one more Kiwi supplier with a product that I just happen to have in my own garage.
That's right. So we're here today with our Australian or Sydney-based team, and we've got our E2 chargers on display, which are our flagship home charging product, and also our X Series as well, which is our sort of fleet commercial line of product.
Okay, so you're selling a New Zealand product in Australia. How's that going?
Yes, New Zealand manufactured. The Aussies still love a New Zealand manufactured product, we find, which is great.
Okay, where do you see it going? Where do you see this technology going? Because hasn't everyone already got a charger at home?
No, not everyone. So look, our chargers are obviously, we don't do the 3-pin plug varieties. These are all dedicated fast home chargers, so you get 40 to 50k range per hour, which is great, particularly if you're relying on an EV as your only vehicle. Really good solar integration. A lot of people obviously have rooftop solar in Australia. We've got a really good tie-in with solar, so you can use your solar diversion, home overload protection, and a really beautifully designed charger as well. So we're growing, very quickly in Australia, which is really exciting.
That is brilliant. Okay, it's no secret that I have an Evnex E2 charger at home, and it is still, in my opinion, it is still the best charger you can get. I know that sounds terribly biased as an impartial interview, but it's a really good bit of kit. I'll chuck a link in the description of this video if you want to see the installation of my own charger, how it works. It is a work of art. But there is another place I want to go and check out. Let's go have a look. Next up, this is Michael from the Australian Electric Vehicle Association. What do you guys do?
So we are builders of electric vehicles, owners of electric vehicles. We're in companies in and around electric vehicles, and because I'm in the national executive, we're lobbyists. So we lobby government, industry, councils for the needs and requirements of electric vehicle owners.
Okay, so let's now talk about the cars. That's the logistics. What's this? I saw this last year.
Yeah.
Who's the owner?
That's my car.
Oh, this is yours?
That's my car.
What's the story behind it? Why did you convert a Lotus?
So I joined the club originally 15 years ago because I wanted to build an electric car.
Okay.
So that's where the AEVA founded. 1973 is a group of people that were building electric vehicles. OPEC oil crisis. So they were looking for alternatives.
Of course. Okay, so which is the oldest conversion here then?
The oldest conversion is, there's Trevor's over there.
Okay, we've got to check this out.
Yeah.
Let's go have a look.
It's
But before we do, what are the specs on this? What's the battery capacity?
So it's an old school DC conversion because someone else started it, 2010.
Okay.
And it was a failed project. So I scooped it out from under him, but it's still an old school DC motor.
Good old DC,
Yep.
right? So no regen braking?
No regen braking.
Okay.
So in the fullness of time, I'll upgrade it to something a bit more. But
Okay.
basically, it's the same circa 2010 components.
Okay, all right. I don't want this video to be entirely conversions, but if you've watched my videos, you know I love electric car conversions because they're so cool. Okay, so what's the story behind this one?
So this is Trev's, so farm truck. So he does
Okay.
it as a bit of a business, but basically he uses it around his home. It's designed to run off his solar system, charge off his solar system.
Okay.
He's got the truck, he's got the ATV, he's got boat motors, he's got his converted kit car. So he uses it around his farm basically.
You've got electric outboards as well.
Electric outboards.
Are they selling well?
Yeah, actually.
Or are they a bit too weird for the average motor?
No, because they're actually reasonably popular because, especially for fishermen, when you're quietly punting along. But now it's not just punting along; they're actually reasonably.
They're actually starting to get powerful.
That's 11 kilowatts. So these things, if you want to get up and about and you're in your tinny, they're actually starting to become real practical.
Actually, I had the privilege of taking a carbon fibre tender it's jet propulsion, electric powered, around Auckland Harbour recently. It's brilliant. I'll put that footage in the video. You're probably watching it right now, but it's pretty cool. Check out the video. The link's in the description. I've got to do my YouTube responsible stuff.
All good.
Okay, so I want to look at this little thing. I saw this yesterday.
This is Queenwood Girls' School. And so they've got a project. So basically, they found the truck in basically in a field.
Oh yeah.
Basically stripped it back to bare bones, got all the rust out, got all the ugly out, rebuilt it. It's got I think it's a 20 kilowatt battery pack. Old Nissan Leaf.
20 kilowatt.
20 kilowatt.
Oh yeah, I see the Nissan Leaf cells in there.
Yep, Nissan Leaf, same as mine. Same as mine. And a Hyper 9 motor. So it's a relatively nice build. Good components, and they're doing a really nice job. But it's all down to the girls at Queenwood High.
This is fantastic. I love. It's great to see more women getting involved in electric cars because it's always been a guy's field, and it doesn't need to be because they're fun. Cars are fun. Yeah. Next up is solar races. This is something I've been infatuated with since I was a kid. This is Ben, and what are we looking at here?
Well, we're looking at the next generation of solar cars. These are vehicles that are able to be travel 3,000 kilometres throughout the Australian outback on a single charge. Throughout the Solar Challenge, you've got two competitions. One is the Challenger class vehicles. They're designed to be single-seater races, first to the finish line. And you've also got cruiser class vehicles, which is what we're seeing behind us here, is the more practical solar car. So not necessarily any energy limitations, but how many people can we take the 3,000 kilometres from Darwin to Adelaide? So.
Okay, stupid question, but what happens at night? Do you stop racing?
We stop racing.
Okay, that makes sense.
So we get all of our camping gear ready for the trip, and we pack up at about 5 p.m. at each night, and we camp the night.
Oh, that sounds like fun, man.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
So you said that there's limitations on battery capacity, that's per the rules, is it?
That's per the rules.
What's the limitations?
So the limitations are the weight of the battery. So you're allowed, for the Challenger class vehicles, you're allowed 20 kilos of batteries.
20 kilograms?
20 kilos of batteries, yeah.
That's nothing.
That is nothing. That is about, with typical lithium-ion cells nowadays, it's about 5 kilowatt hours.
So it's weight, not capacity.
Correct. So one of the innovations in the 23 challenge was a new silicon anode cathode chemistry.
Okay.
And from that, they were getting 8 kilowatt hours out of their battery packs. So
Far out.
yeah.
So there's very different cars here, different classes. Like
Yep.
your car, you said yours is in the shop.
Yes.
What happened?
It's a little bit of moving at the moment between workshops as well.
Okay.
Trying to find sponsorships between the teams. We're a volunteer non-for-profit,
Okay,
so we're not university-based or anything like that.
So we're on the same budget then.
Yeah, exactly. We were, especially for the last car as well, we were really trying to push the budget down. I think we had less than 50 grand of cash, and the final cost was about less than 80 grand or something like that. For the
So
final
when are you
car.
racing next?
25. So 2025. So
I'm going to be following it because what is it about solar racing that's so cool?
everything. It's really the technology of everything. These vehicles, in comparison to road cars, are so efficient. It's like, it is insane. You see some of the top teams and they're drawing a couple 100 watts of power to drive at highway cruising speeds.
I've got to press on, but I'm going to be watching that with interest.
Yeah, absolutely. 2025.
All right.
2025 October.
Now we're on to electric motorbikes. This is Sam from Savic?
Savic Motorcycles.
Savic.
Yep.
Okay, tell me about this giant two-wheeled beast behind me. What is it?
Okay, so this is our C series. This is our Cafe series. So we're an Australian company based in Melbourne.
All right, so tell me the specs. What's the motor output? What's the acceleration, battery capacity? Give me the works.
Awesome. So 3.50 to 100 on this.
3.5 seconds, 0 to 100.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say you're going to need some chonky tyres to get that sort of traction.
Yeah,
because
so
this doesn't look like a light bike.
No, it's not. So it's 280 kilos.
Okay.
So it's definitely a bit heavier than your kind of traditional ice bike. Comparing it to like the kind of EV market, EV motorcycles, you are going to get them a little bit heavier.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, what's the? I'm guessing all of this is mostly battery, or is that battery and inverter and everything in there?
That's everything in there. So the battery enclosure actually acts as the main stress member. So
Oh,
that
okay,
actually
okay.
is the frame as well. You've got your battery kind of sits about in between there. You've got your VCU, your inverter on the bottom, and then you've got liquid cooling running across the whole
It's
thing
liquid
as well.
cooled. Where's the radiator?
So radiator's down at the front here.
Oh, I see it down. Oh, that's. I've never seen an adorable radiator before, but that is cool.
So that radiator actually channels along the underside. It's got a cooling plate.
I
for the
see.
inverter.
Yeah.
And then it runs and connects up to the motor. And then you've got your liquid hosing that actually then channels to the top to cool down your VCU as well.
Okay, so the obvious question everyone's going to want to know when they see this is price and range. How much does it cost? How far does it go per charge?
So we've actually got two models. We've got
Okay.
the Delta and the Alpha. So aesthetically, you get the same looking motorcycle. Comes down to the battery capacity.
Right.
So the Alpha spec is 26,990,
26,990. Okay.
and you're looking at about 200 plus kilometres mixed city highway range.
That's all right.
And then the Delta is about 150 kilometres, and that's 19,990 right away.
Okay, and what battery capacity do we have in here? How many kilowatt hours?
16.2.
How does it ride differently compared to a combustion bike?
So your kind of major ones is obviously you're not having a clutch. There's
Oh,
no
yeah.
gear shifting. So it kind of takes away, you haven't got to focus on that, you're more focused on the road. Obviously the kind of volume you're kind of putting out as well, it's not as significant as a combustion with a loud exhaust. You still got like a nice kind of like jet whine sound, especially when you really ramp on.
Okay, and I imagine that the torque is right there as opposed to a combustion bike. You don't have to spool up to reach peak power.
It's more characteristic of like a V-twin, so you've kind of got that raw torquey kind of throttle.
Oh, that sounds like fun. This is the first time I've ever seen this on a bike. Is that cruise control on a
You've got
motorbike?
cruise control as well, yeah? Yeah, so
Come
you can take both
on.
hands off, even
Seriously?
though we don't recommend
We
it,
don't-
but
yeah.
you've got IoT software on this as well.
Oh, really?
So you've got cellular data, so you've got an app connected to the bike. You actually unlock the bike with your phone
Oh, sweet.
in proximity.
So this is 21st century biking.
Yeah.
That's insane.
One that actually kind of blows the cruise control out of the water is you've actually got reverse mode as well.
Well, you can
You can
the
reverse
bike that
as well, yeah.
reverses. Oh man, I want to see one of these things in action. I'll take it for a drive, but I would die. Bikes, cars, and clean tech aside, Everything Electric also had panel discussions with industry leaders, doctors, designers, and for some reason me, on a talk surrounding innovation. In particular, automotive innovations that have succeeded and those that haven't. I think one great, easy to imagine example of a concept that just never made it despite all the will in the world, all the money in the world, is hydrogen fuel cells. That's a great example of a concept that so many corporations wanted that to work. It's over. It's about as successful as me on Tinder. It's done. The big problem with this event though is that there is more stuff than I have time to cover in the video. One of the favorite things that I spotted in the entire thing though is this tiny little key class car, which is a tiny car that meets certain size requirements to be classified as a key class car in Japan. Power requirements, size requirements. As long as it's small enough and gutless enough, it can fit this in. But despite its small dimensions, have a look inside. Look at the amount of room you get in this thing. It's insane. Unfortunately, I'd love to cover all the cars in this event. There's more cars than I have time. My only advice is for you to go to this event next year. I'll be here again next year. There's so much cool content in here. There's solar panels. G'day. There's solar panels, there is chargers, there is motorbikes, there's solar racing cars, there's seminar after seminar after seminar. Of course, you saw me, I had to go on one of those stages. Obviously, their quality is very, very low if they have people like me on stage. But bottom line is, if you're interested in clean tech, you've got to make it to everything electric. Next year, I'm sure, is going to be even bigger. See you there.